Today with Verbo Private Vacation Rentals. Your future self will thank you later.
Hey there, we're MyUSA Credit Union. We're the simple, go all in, slightly quirky cooperative, can-do place to bank. We're for those building toward the future, creating the life of your dreams. We'll always tell it to you straight and help guide you through each step of life's journey. When you join MyUSA, you've got a best financial friend for life. We're always rooting for you, like a best friend should. MyUSACU.com. This institution is not federally insured, but ASI insured and equal opportunity lender. Contact the credit union for complete details.
As you may know, David's Cemetery is a beautiful cemetery in the heart of Kettering that offers many burial options. What you may not know is that we also have a beautiful chapel and an after-service facility called the Gathering Room. Our convenient location eliminates traveling from place to place because we can host everything from the visitation and memorial service to the committal and family gathering. Please call or stop by our office for a private tour. David's Cemetery, Generations of Care.
Together with the resources of News Center 7, you're on Dayton's #1 news team. Now, back to Miami Valley's morning news on WHIO.
6:45 on Larry Hansgen, 73 degrees in Dayton. Here are the big three things you need to know. A man goes on a stabbing spree at a Walmart in Michigan. Ohio Task Force 1 returns home today after being deployed in flood-ravaged Texas. And our top story, a heat advisory today for most of the Miami Valley.
Yeah, mainly for the areas I-70 and south and back over into Indiana as well.
But treat it as though we are under that heat advisory for the entire Miami Valley.
Yeah, Storm Center 7 meteorologist Britley Ritz is telling us we're going to have actual temperatures in the 90s with feels-like temperatures in the triple digits.
Well, some residents still cleaning up after storms rolled through the Miami Valley over the weekend. One family in Clark County saw a tree on their property get struck by lightning during the storms yesterday afternoon, and it fell on their roof after that strike. Shelby County hit hard by the rain as well. One man saying he found 2 inches of standing water in his basement when he went to check on the sump pump.
Well, listen up, Kings Island fans. The amusement park announcing what is being called an unprecedented benefit to mark the first anniversary between Six Flags and Cedar Fair.
Anyone who purchases or renews their 2026 Kings Island Gold and Prestige passes between July 31st and September 1st will get unlimited access to more than 40 Six Flags Entertainment Corporation parks for the rest of 2025 and all of 2026.
That is WHIO's Christine Bellina reporting. You can read more about other benefits at WHIO.com.
Well, a huge story has been unfolding north of the Buckeyes. A stabbing attack at a Michigan Walmart results in almost a dozen people injured, and the assault ended with a group of citizens apprehending a suspect until police arrested him. Fox's Mike Tobin reports.
They got involved and held the alleged attacker here in the Walmart parking lot until law enforcement arrived. Confronting the alleged attacker, one of them, Derek Perry is his name, he drew a gun and they didn't let him leave.
Drop it! Drop the call the police. Throw the knife that way. Throw it away. Throw it away. Hey, he hasn't dropped it.
11 people got stabbed.
Yeah, police identified the suspect as 42-year-old Bradford Gilly, who had previous run-ins with the law. He faces life in prison and will appear in court during the week. He was charged with 1 count of terrorism and 11 counts of assault with intent to murder.
Meanwhile, in the Middle East, Israel's military has begun a limited pause in fighting in 3 populated areas of Gaza for 10 hours a day as part of humanitarian measures, including airdrops, as concerns grow over hunger. The UN humanitarian chief says Israel is supporting a 1-week scale-up of aid.
And another story we're following for you. President Trump meeting with the European Union in Scotland, where he says a trade deal has been reached, stating that the EU will invest more than $1 trillion into the U.S.
I think it's great that we made a deal today instead of playing games and maybe not making a deal at all. I think it's, I'm going to let you say, but I think it's the biggest deal ever made.
Yeah, the Commission and U.S. agreed to a sweeping tariff of 15% beginning August 1st.
Sad news to pass along this morning. A regional passenger train is derailed in southern Germany, killing at least 3 people and seriously injuring others.
The crash happened about 158 kilometers west of Munich. Federal and local police say the cause of the crash is still under investigation. Storms passed through the area before the crash, and investigators were seeking to determine if the rain was a factor.
That's WHIO's Will Taylor. WHIO News Time 649.
This is Miami Valley's Morning News. I'm Larry Hansgen. Let's look at our 5-day forecast now with Storm Center 7 meteorologist Brittany Ritz.
Waking up in the 70s this morning, hitting 91 this afternoon, feeling more like 100 with a few showers and storms once again. A few may be strong. Rinse and repeat that into Tuesday and Wednesday, really. 93 Tuesday and 90 on Wednesday, feeling more like 100 and still holding on to the chance for a few showers and thunderstorms. Next cold front comes in Wednesday into Thursday, and that rain chance lingers on into Thursday, but we drop to 81 degrees. Get this, by Friday, 79.
Live Doppler 7 radar clear. We have 71 in Springfield, 72 in Huber Heights, and 72 at Dayton Severe Weather Station.
This traffic report is sponsored by Grismer Tire and Auto Service. Is your car's AC acting up? Keep cool this summer by visiting your trusted automotive air conditioning repair experts. Breathe a little easier by making an appointment today at GrismerTire.com.
Here's an update with Jake Magnotta.
A lot more of us hitting the roads, hitting our interstates, but we continue to move well for this Monday morning drive. No accidents, no other problems to pass along to you right now. With traffic every 10 minutes, I'm Jake Magnotta, WHIO Triple Team Traffic.
Well, Aaron Rodgers is reportedly enforcing a strict toilet flushing rule at Steelers training camp. He's rooming with receiver DK Metcalf, trying to get some synergy between those two as they become teammates. Well, he says that Metcalf says he's not allowed to flush the toilet at night due to the loud noise, and that he actually texts Rodgers to ask permission before flushing. Well, still to come on Miami Valley's Morning News, Hulk Hogan dying last week, and now some controversies surrounding his funeral. Something we'll discuss in 3 minutes. WHIO News Time, 6:51.
I'm sorry.
This is the legendary WHIO, the king of sports in Ohio. We've got the biggest sports teams and leagues on both radio and TV. This year, we're proud to be the home of NFL with Cincinnati Bengals football on Channel 7. The Southwest Ohio home of the Cleveland Browns on WHIO Radio. The biggest Big Ten games during the season every Saturday, including Ohio State football. The CBS NFL Game of the Week. The home of University of Dayton basketball and football. The Touchdown 7 high school football games of the week. The Dayton home of March Madness, the Masters, and PGA Championship. When it comes to the absolute biggest sports brands, WHIO Radio and Television is the king of Dayton sports. WHIO, Dayton's news, talk, and sports station. It takes a lot of work and people to put on a live radio station. But being in the moment with us, live and local, is something you can't get anywhere else. WHIO, Dayton's news and talk. Depend on it. What is the WHIO Storm Center? It means when you hear these tones, you are just a few minutes away from emergency weather information. Weather is our #1 priority. The Storm Center 7 forecast is always on the radio. 1290 and 95.7 WHIO. And when News Center 7 is in wall-to-wall weather coverage mode, you'll always hear it simulcast on WHIO Radio. That means you can take your radio to your safe spot and hear exactly what's happening with severe weather. When it comes to weather, we don't mess around. This is a Consumer Warrior Clark Howard Minute.
You love having a perfect lawn? Well, let me tell you, there have been a number of studies recently that have found that the things that make our lawn look perfect are terrible potentially for our health. Lots of diseases increased from having an ideal lawn. There was a study that found that people who live near golf courses are at much greater risk of having just really ugly long-term illnesses. So there's this movement that has been spreading around the country that a lot of people did at first, truth be told, just to save money, where they let their lawns be more natural. Now, if you live in a mandatory homeowners association community, that may not be allowed. But if you're not in one of those, natural is better potentially for your health. Yeah, that lawn's beautiful. It's also potentially ugly.
Clark is WHIO's Consumer Warrior, and you can hear him during Miami Valley's Morning News on WHIO.
For This Week in History, I'm Ron Otto. July 27th, 1909. Orville Wright successfully tests the world's first military plane, making a record flight of 1 hour and 12 minutes. July 27th, 1953. The fighting ends in the Korean War as North Korea and the UN sign an armistice dividing the peninsula at the 38th parallel.
For some 2 years, truce negotiations dragged on at Panmunjom. Now, with many representatives of both sides present, a truce has been signed. We can at least rejoice that for all the men who are bearing the burden of this war, a halt has been called.
July 28, 1900, the hamburger is created by Louis Lassing in Connecticut. July 30th, 2000. Wild Bill Hickok is shot dead while playing cards in a saloon in Deadwood, Dakota Territory. For This Week in History, I'm Ron Otto.
Breaking news all morning. The Storm Center 7 forecast to start your day and triple team traffic. Miami Valley's morning news continues on WHIO.
Good morning, I'm Larry Hansgen. Sun is up on what will be another hot day today, but also a chance of showers and thunderstorms. And looking across the border in Indiana, starting to see something develop there. So we'll be keeping an eye on it for you throughout the morning. We have 72 degrees now at 6:55. A feud is allegedly erupted over whether Hulk Hogan will be buried in a suit or in his wrestling spandex. Some family members want the ceremony to be more dignified, but obviously fans would like to see the Hulkster, buried in his wrestling attire. Do you have any thoughts, Brittany Otto?
I saw some AI stuff that showed that he actually has already had a funeral that had a nice mix of things. He was wearing like his little bandana thing that he would wear on his head, but he had a suit jacket on.
Okay.
So it was a nice compromise.
There you go. Now, Jeremy, do you put any stock? Is there any... what you're buried in. Is that something that you think matters?
Not for me. For me, I really don't care what happens to me. For Hulk Hogan, though, that's a complicated thing because you have so many fans that think of him as a certain way, and then you have family that, probably don't want it to be a circus.
Yet at the same time, Ozzy Osbourne, apparently he had planned out some rather bizarre, funny stuff surrounding his funeral.
I bet
that he wanted different sound effects and all kinds of stuff.
That's fun.
Well, you're still closer to the start than you are to the end, so you probably
hopefully
you probably haven't given a lot of thought to stuff like this. But
no,
but an iconic figure, whether it's Ozzy Osbourne or Hulk Hogan. I guess how they are buried maybe matters to fans. The fan ultimately it's up to the family and up to the individual if they obviously made their intentions known. But
yeah,
when you think of Hulk Hogan, you don't think of him wearing a suit, do you?
No. But I wouldn't. It depends. Like if that was something that he would have wanted, then yeah, put him in the singlet. But I don't think any person that's passed away, I don't think it's a good look for them to be going under in a skin tight
agree. I agree with that. Yeah.
Well, you know what, have them wear whatever, but just keep the casket closed.
There you go.
I'm not a big fan of the whole viewing, if you will.
Okay.
All right, but rest in peace, Hulkster and Ozzy. I hope this week will not be a week like we had last week where there were just so many celebrity deaths. Well, our top story today is potentially dangerous weather yet again as this heat dome is not going anywhere, at least for now. It's 6:58.
This is a Consumer Warrior Clark Howard Minute.
So the airlines have been having a tough ride lately, and bookings have softened way beyond what they expected. Airlines cutting back flights a lot when you look further into the fall. In the meantime, there's an odd phenomenon going on right now that is completely not the way it usually is. It's normal that when you buy an airline ticket less than 3 weeks before you're going, the fare just gets higher and higher and higher as you close in on departure day. Right now, though, airlines are doing a lot of last-minute sales. So if you bought a ticket a while ago for the rest of this summer, reshop it before you go, where normally you'd say, wow, I sure got a great deal before. Now you may see something completely different. You may get a lower fare with a credit you can use later for future travel.
Clark is WHIO's consumer warrior, and you can hear him during Miami Valley's morning news on WHIO.
Imagine being on a vacation for a very long time. Now imagine saving money nightly while you do it. Sounds pretty great, right? With Vrbo's long stay discounts, you can stay longer and save more. Our customers save an average of 10% when they book select properties for a week or longer. Just in case you needed another reason to extend that vacation. Book the perfect summer getaway today with Vrbo Private Vacation Rentals. Your future self will thank you later.
At Walden University, we get the W. We're not here to have our hands held. We're here to lend ours. Because we want to create positive change on the world around us. And Walden University teaches us the skills to make it happen on our time. Now, it's your time. Learn the skills, make an impact, get the W. Walden University. Set a course for change. Visit waldenu.edu to learn more. Certified to operate by Chev.
This is the station Dayton turns to first for live team coverage of breaking news. WHIO Dayton Springfield, celebrating 90 years of being Dayton's news and talk station. Depend on it.
Good morning. It's 7 o'clock. I'm Larry Hansgen. Welcome to Miami Valley's Morning News. We are live on Monday, July 28, 72 degrees in Dayton. Here are the big three things you need to know. NASA to cut 20% of its workforce. France will recognize Palestinian statehood. And our top local story, another day for you to be weather aware in the Miami Valley.
A heat advisory in effect for much of the Miami Valley. A lot of it's I-70 and south and then back over into Indiana.
But Storm Center 7 meteorologist Britley Ritz says you should treat it as though we're under that heat advisory for the whole Miami Valley.
We have actual temperatures that are going to be in the 90s and feels like temperatures that are going to be in the triple digits.
On top of that, we are expecting even more rain with the best chance for scattered showers and storms along and south of I-70.
We'll have a better chance for rain through the afternoon going into Wednesday and Thursday with an approaching cold front that's actually going to do us some good. This cold front's going to live up to its name and in fact make us feel colder by the end of the week.
And of course, stick around. Britley will be back with our full 5-day weather forecast as we kick off a new work week in the Miami Valley here on Dayton's Severe Weather Station, 1290 and 95.7 WHIO.
More rain. In some places, really don't need it. I'm Storm Center 7 meteorologist Britley Ritz. We'll talk about how much rain fell over the weekend and how much more you can expect through the middle of the week.
Traffic is moving at normal speeds no matter where you're at on the interstates this morning. With traffic every 10 minutes, I'm Jake Magnotta, WHIO Triple Team Traffic.
I'm Larry Hansgen. This is Miami Valley's Morning News.
I'm Brittany Otto.
And I'm Jeremy Ratliff.
Police investigating a reported shooting in Dayton this morning. Crews dispatched to Gerlaw Avenue and Bierce Avenue.
Officers have located a car that is believed to be involved, according to a Montgomery County Regional Dispatch sergeant. It is unclear at this time if a victim has been located.
That's WHIO's Benjamin Fridkiss.
And people in one Miami Valley community will get the chance to sound off at a public hearing today on a recreational marijuana ban.
Bellbrook City Council introduced an ordinance that bans sales within the city as a temporary ban is about to run out. A Community Affairs Committee meeting is set for 6, followed by the City Council regular meeting at 7.
That is WHIO's Ron Otto reporting. Even with the ban, people can still use and possess the legal amount of 2.5 ounces in any form except extract.
In Montgomery County, Dayton Municipal Court and the Clerk of Court's office will be offering a discount on eligible fines, fees, and costs soon.
From August 4th to the 15th, people will be able to get 50% off eligible costs. To qualify, people must pay the reduced fees in full during the fee reductions weeks. Payments can be made online at paymyfine.com or in person at Dayton Municipal Court.
That's WHIO's Rich Jones.
An arrest made after an hours-long standoff with police prompted emergency alerts to be sent across parts of our region.
32-year-old Denzel Pouncey had active warrants on charges of strangulation and assault after cops responded to reports of an assault at UC Westchester Friday night. Police tell us Pouncey was on parole and has a long criminal history. They also believe the alert was a computer glitch.
That is WHIO's Ian James reporting.
State troopers say one person was taken to an area hospital after a crash on southbound 75 in Sydney Sunday.
Dispatchers tell us only one vehicle was involved. We have heard the possibility that heavy rain and storms in the area may have been a factor in the crash, though there's been no confirmation of that as of yet.
WHIO's Jason Michaels. At one point, the accident was causing a 52-minute backup on the southbound side.
Well, we now know that 2 people were hurt after a dog attack in Xenia Friday.
Just before 5 o'clock Friday afternoon, Xenia police and medics were called to the 1200 block of Circle Drive for reports that a dog attacked 2 people inside a home. According to police on the scene, both were taken to an area hospital and officers put the dog down.
That is WHIO's David Hartwig.
NASA slashing about 20% of its workforce. Fox's Jill Nato reports.
Nearly 4,000 staffers at NASA are taking off from the agency, mostly through the Deferred Resignation Program. The Hill reports that'll cut NASA from 18,000 down to 14,000 workers. It's part of President Trump's efforts to downsize the federal workforce, but nearly 400 current NASA employees have signed what they call the Voyager Declaration. It's a formal dissent addressed to Interim NASA Administrator Sean Duffy.
They say the Trump administration's cuts will set back scientific advances on Earth and in space by decades and will hand space over to international competitors.
And meanwhile, in the Middle East, Israel's military has begun a limited pause in fighting in 3 populated areas of Gaza for 10 hours a day as part of humanitarian measures, including airdrops, as concerns grow over hunger. Now, the UN humanitarian chief says Israel is supporting a 1-week scale-up of aid. WHIO News Time 7:05.
I'm Larry Hansgen. This is Miami Valley's Morning News, and streaming later this week on Netflix, comedian Leanne Morgan's sitcom, simply titled Leanne.
I have dreamed of that since I was a child, and that was my goal as a stand-up. You always want a sitcom like Ray Romano, Roseanne, Seinfeld. So it was wonderful, but it was hard.
And Leanne starts streaming Thursday, July 31st on Netflix. Still to come, the Treasury Secretary starts talks with China today. We've got that story in 2 minutes. WHIO News Time 7:06.
A lot of weird stuff happens around here overnight. That's why we feature Dayton's only all-news morning show. Catch up and know what's going on every morning. Miami Valley's Morning News is on WHIO. WHIO, Dayton's News and Talk. Depend on it.
Dave Cause and Friends Summer Horns 2025, featuring Marcus Anderson, Jeff Bradshaw, Leo P. and Evan Taylor, plus Marcel Anderson. Saturday, August 9th, Fraze Pavilion. Get tickets now at Fraze.com.
I'm Ron Otto with My Sports Rundown, my opinion on the big stories in sports. This summer's baseball all-star game in Atlanta was a hit. Ball strike challenges, a beautiful tribute to Hank Aaron, a record comeback to tie the game, and a mini home run derby to determine a winner, which came by way of Middletown native Kyle Schwarber. I like how Commissioner Rob Manfred tries out new ideas in the minors or spring training, or in this case, the all-star game. That's how we got pitch clocks and shift restrictions. But Manfred will really be judged on what happens in December 2026. That's when the collective bargaining agreement runs out. There's word that owners want a salary cap again, and that's something players will never agree to. A work stoppage appears imminent. How he deals with that situation will be his legacy, not so much the automated ball strike challenge system. I'm Ron Otto. That's my sports rundown.
Ever wanted to stay on vacation longer? Us too. With Vrbo's long stay discounts, you can stay longer and save more on select properties. Gotta love a win-win. Book the perfect summer getaway today with Vrbo Private Vacation Rentals. Your future self will thank you later.
Why settle for ordinary when you could have extraordinary? Why trade off when you could trade up? Why chase your dreams when you could drive them? Find your dream car with L certified by Lexus. With an unlimited mileage warranty for up to 6 years and a complimentary maintenance plan. Click the banner to discover more. Experience amazing exclusively at your Lexus dealer.
Complimentary maintenance for first 4 scheduled visits. Warranty valid 2 years after expiration of remaining time mileage of 4-year 50,000-mile new vehicle basic warranty.
The area's only all-news and talk radio station. That means we're talking about what you're talking about. Miami Valley's Morning News continues on WHIO.
Good morning. I'm Larry Hansgen, and another hot day today, but also that chance of showers and thunderstorms as well. And right now, keeping an eye on some rain that's in Indiana, could be pushing our way at 72 degrees at 7:08.
8 minutes after 7 o'clock.
I'm Jeremy Radloff.
I'm Brittany Otto. Well, at least one person is now dead after a reported shooting in Dayton early this morning. Crews dispatched to Gerlaw Avenue and Bierce Avenue. A spokesperson for the Montgomery County Coroner's Office confirming an investigator was dispatched to the scene to assist with the investigation.
Yeah, meanwhile, it's not just us dealing with this extreme hot weather that you're feeling this morning. Most all of the eastern half of the U.S. is baking under a heat dome. National Weather Service meteorologist Frank Pereira says millions are dealing with triple-digit daytime temperatures.
Those cover areas all the way from the upper Midwest, the Twin Cities, down to New Orleans, and then back over to the southeast, including all the way up into the Washington, D.C. area, and up along, even further to the north along the I-95 corridor into Boston.
Yeah, get specifics on our local hot weather forecast coming up right here on Dayton's Severe Weather Station.
A popular bar and restaurant opening at a new location.
Mudlick Tap House will have a soft opening Thursday at 110 West Franklin Street in Centerville. This comes days after the downtown Dayton location closed. The downtown location had been open since 2017, but a restaurant spokesperson says they believe moving to the suburbs will be better for business.
WHIO's Parker Testa reporting.
Now, breaking news from overnight. President Trump and the European Commission president have announced a sweeping new trade deal.
It raises tariffs on most European goods to 15%, warding off Trump's threat of a 30% rate if no deal had been reached by August 1st. The tariffs or import taxes paid when Americans buy European products could raise prices for U.S. consumers and slow growth in both the U.S. and Europe. But the deal appears to ward off a worse escalation of trade tensions.
That is WHIO's Will Taylor.
This is WHIO Continuing News.
Well, President Trump has signed an executive order aimed at bolstering the artificial intelligence sector in the U.S. And FCC Chairman Brendan Carr joins Fox and Friends to discuss how the plan aims to root out ideological bias in AI models.
President Trump has said that he wants the U.S. to have the gold standard AI technology. And key to that, as you indicate, is making sure there is not any ideological bias in there. And we see how that can play out. Just look to China. China's version of AI is deeply embedded with the CCP's ideology.
On Saturday, the Chinese government released an AI plan of their own that differed from the one released by the Trump administration, calling for international cooperation in the tech sector. WHIO News Time 7:11.
I'm Larry Hansgen. This is Miami Valley's Morning News as we take a look at the forecast for the new work week and our 5-day extended outlook with Storm Center 7 meteorologist Brittany Ritz.
Waking up in the 70s this morning, hitting 91 this afternoon, feeling more like 100 with a few showers and storms once again. A few may be strong. Rinse and repeat that into Tuesday and Wednesday, really. 93 Tuesday and 90 on Wednesday, feeling more like 100 and still holding on to the chance for a few showers and thunderstorms. Next cold front comes in Wednesday into Thursday, and that rain chance lingers on into Thursday, but we drop to 81 degrees. Get this, by Friday, 79.
Live Doppler 7 radar is showing some rain in Indiana, just to the north of Richmond, tracking our direction. We've got 71 now in Springfield, 72 in Englewood, and 72 at Dayton Severe Weather Station.
This traffic report is sponsored by Grismer Tire and Auto Service. Refresh your ride with brand new tires at unbeatable prices. Plus, buy 4 new tires and get 4 free oil changes, an additional $300 value. Make an appointment today at GrismerTire.com.
An update with Jake Magnato.
Larry, haven't seen any areas where traffic's been slowing down this morning on the interstates. Still no accidents. Was also checking on that construction area, actually moving through here. Pretty normal right now. 35 west. This is approaching 675 in Beaver Creek. With traffic every 10 minutes, I'm Jake Magnato, WHIO Triple Team Traffic.
Reds beat the Rays 2-1. Homestand in Cincinnati will continue with a visit from the Dodgers tonight. Guardians lost to Kansas City 4-1. Dragons rained out in the series finale against South Bend. That game will not be made up. And Hall of Fame weekend in Cooperstown. A look at this year's class and look back at his own induction weekend. We're joined by baseball writer Hal McCoy. Hal joins us live in 2 minutes. WHIO News Time, 7:13.
This is Dayton's only 24-hour local weather, traffic, and news station. We know that if you scan the dial in town, practically every other station just plays music. At WHIO, we've hired a full staff of news and traffic reporters, meteorologists, and talk show hosts, where it's our only job to provide information around the clock. WHIO, Dayton's News and Talk. Depend on it.
This is a Consumer Warrior Clark Howard Minute.
I've had a number of people ask me questions over the last couple of years about supposed banks that are offering really great rates on savings or on what they call notes. And the interest rates are usually double what you could earn at a traditional online bank and about 4 times what you can at a traditional physical bank. Sounds great, right? Until it doesn't work. Recently, one called First Liberty Building and Loan that I had a number of questions about has gone insolvent. People's money gone. Why? Because a lot of these people have names that sound like a real bank, but they're not real banks, and they don't have FDIC insurance. The big returns, they're too risky.
Clark is WHIO's Consumer Warrior, and you can hear him during Miami Valley's Morning News on WHIO.
Imagine being on a vacation for a very long time. Now imagine saving money nightly while you do it. Sounds pretty great, right? With Vrbo's long stay discounts, you can stay longer and save more. Our customers save an average of 10% when they book select properties for a week or longer. Just in case you needed another reason to extend that vacation. Book the perfect summer getaway today with Vrbo Private Vacation Rentals. Your future self will thank you later.
Dayton's only all-local news radio station. The power of WHIO Radio and News Center 7 means you'll know first. This is Miami Valley's Morning News on WHIO.
7:16, I'm Larry Hanskin, 72 degrees in Dayton. The big 3 things you need to know. Bellbrook holding a public hearing tonight about banning recreational marijuana sales. President Trump announces a new trade deal with the European Union. And our top story, another hot week ahead. A chance for showers and thunderstorms today, and also a heat index over 100. We'll have more details, the 5-day forecast, with Storm Center 7 meteorologist Britley Ritz coming up in 3 minutes. But we welcome in Hall of Fame baseball writer Hal McCoy with us this morning. And Hal, the Baseball Hall in Cooperstown, added some new members over the weekend on the playing side. Ichiro Suzuki, CC Sabathia, Billy Wagner, the late Dave Parker, and the late Dick Allen, all enshrined. And I know that you have a vote each and every year. And did those guys pass your muster?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It was a shame that Dave Parker didn't make it long before he did. It was great that he knew that he was going in, but the fact that he was not able to be there was very sad. But yeah, I voted for Dave every time he was on the ballot because he was a great ball player, and the years he played in Cincinnati, he carried that team.
You know, when you have to vote, and you and your fellow members of the Baseball Writers Association, what is it that you are looking at? What type of criteria do you use when you make your selections?
Oh, there are so many, and one of the things that I think is ignored on the ballot too much is character, and you know, that sometimes becomes a problem. But just overall, you know, their career statistics and their leadership and how they were on the field, just you know, everything that you look for in a baseball player, and was he the best of his era, you know, things of that nature.
Now, on Saturday, they had the writers and broadcasters went in with Tom Hamilton, longtime radio voice of the of Cleveland, going into the hall on Saturday, and you had that opportunity as well when you were inducted. Every time this weekend rolls around, does it bring back memories for you?
Oh, absolutely. When I got to Cooperstown, Johnny Bench pulled me aside and said, "Hal, so much is going to happen to you this weekend. Write everything down." I did not do it, and I wish I had, because those 3 days just so much happened. One of my favorites was after the induction, I was walking up a side street with my family and friends, and this little old lady came running out of the house waving a program. Mr. McCoy, would you sign my program? And I said, absolutely, I would be happy to. And I said, what is your name? And she said, I am Babe Ruth's daughter. And I about collapsed. I said, I should be getting your autograph. But that's the kind of things that happen in Cooperstown that are so unforgettable.
The speeches that one has to give going in, some of them have been, for the ages. Bob Uecker's, of course, certainly comes to mind. And I know that you are a wordsmith, Hal, but I know that you are a reticent public speaker. So were there a lot of emotions swirling around as you got ready to deliver those words?
Scared to death. You brought up Bob Uecker. He went in the same year that I did. And at the meetings with ESPN the day before the induction, they said, Bob Uecker, you will go first. Hal McCoy, you will go second. And I gave him the timeout sign, and I said, wait a minute. If I have to follow Bob Uecker, I am just going to get up there and say I agree with everything he said. I was not going to follow the great Bob Uecker. And they permitted me to do that, so I went first, and I had him crying. And Bob went and gave a classic speech, the funniest speech you will ever hear. And so it worked out.
Well, Hal, we appreciate you sharing some of your memories and also your thoughts on this year's class. And have a great week ahead, okay, buddy?
Thank you, Larry. Thanks for having me on, buddy, always.
All right, 7:20. This is Miami Valley's Morning News and our 5-day forecast with Storm Center 7 meteorologist Brittany Ritz.
Waking up in the 70s this morning, hitting 91 this afternoon, feeling more like 100 with a few showers and storms once again. A few may be strong. Rinse and repeat that into Tuesday and Wednesday, really. 93 Tuesday and 90 on Wednesday, feeling more like 100 and still holding on to the chance for a few showers and thunderstorms. Next cold front comes in Wednesday into Thursday, and that rain chance lingers on into Thursday, but we drop to 81 degrees. Get this, by Friday, 79.
Live Doppler 7 radar is clear in our neck of the woods. Maybe starting to see a few light showers in Preble County, just south of Eaton. Not quite sure yet. We'll keep an eye on the radar. 71 now in Springfield, 73 at Wright Pat, 72 at Dayton Severe Weather Station.
This traffic report is sponsored by Grismer Tire and Auto Service. Expert brake repair you can trust. Make sure you can stop when you need to the most. Get a little peace of mind by making an appointment today with your trusted brake repair experts at GrismerTire.com.
A live update with Jake Magnotta.
Larry, listening for any reports of accidents this morning, and I haven't heard of anything yet. And for those on the interstates, or if you're about to get on anywhere right now, traffic is still moving very well. With traffic every 10 minutes, I'm Jake Magnotta, WHIO Triple Team Traffic.
Well, still to come today, World Hepatitis Day and raising awareness. The subject of our in-depth impact story in 3 minutes. WHIO News Time is 7:22.
Imagine being on a vacation for a very long time. Now imagine saving money nightly while you do it. Sounds pretty great, right? With Vrbo's long stay discounts, you can stay longer and save more. Our customers save an average of 10% when they book select properties for a week or longer. Just in case you needed another reason to extend that vacation. Book the perfect summer getaway today with Vrbo Private Vacation Rentals. Your future self will thank you later.
WHIO has just won several Associated Press and Edward R. Murrow News Awards, including Best Radio Newscast. We don't do it for awards. We do it for you. Thanks. From WHIO, Dayton's News and Talk.
Imagine being on a vacation for a very long time. Now imagine saving money nightly while you do it. Sounds pretty great, right? With Vrbo's long stay discounts, you can stay longer and save more. Our customers save an average of 10% when they book select properties for a week or longer. Just in case you needed another reason to extend that vacation. Book the perfect summer getaway today with Vrbo Private Vacation Rentals. Your future self will thank you later.
At Walden University, we get the W. We come here for more than just a degree. We come here to make an impact. We step up when everything is on the line, and we create opportunities. At Walden University, we learn the skills to get us to the next level. Plus, with flexible online learning, we can do it on our time. Now it's your time. Get the W. Walden University. Set a course for change. Visit waldenu.edu to learn more. Certified to operate by Chev.
Getting the kids to practice on time. Remembering if it's your day to bring snacks. Making it to the game with a clean jersey. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like whether your kid is going to run toward first or third base. That's simple human sense. Ask your independent agent if Auto Owners makes sense for you.
This summer, Eco ATM is helping you do more of what you love. With over 6,500 kiosks nationwide, it's quick and easy to recycle your used phones for cash on the spot. They'll offer you a price based on your phone's model and condition, and you'll get paid within minutes. No contracts, no waiting, no hassle. Just extra cash. This is your summer. Fund it your way with Eco ATM. Find your local kiosk at ecoatm.com or by downloading our app today.
Ugh, kitchen ants, runaway roaches, a spider. A spider. A spider! Relax. Just use Zevo. Zevo insect killer sprays use a powerful blend of mint and rosemary to eliminate those pests and up to 20 other bug types. Plus, Zevo is safe for use around people and pets when used as directed. Just spray the bugs and wipe them away. Zevo. People friendly, bug deadly.
Have you tried hands-free Skechers slip-ins yet? Because if you haven't, you're missing out on technology that changes how you think about shoes. First, these are not just regular slip-on shoes. They're not just a pair of loafers without laces. But what makes them different is the technology inside that lets you just step into them. There's a built-in hidden shoehorn that slides your foot in, so they look, feel, and wear just like a pair of shoes you're used to. Except you don't have to bend down, struggle to put them on, or touch them. Try them at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Good morning, Dayton. You're waking up with the information you need to start the day. Miami Valley's morning news continues on WHIO.
Good morning. I'm Larry Hansgen. This is Miami Valley's morning news on July 28th.
I would like to buy a hamburger.
I would like to buy a hamburger.
It was July 28, 1900. Louis Lassing invented the hamburger. 72 degrees at 7:26.
26 minutes after 7 o'clock.
I'm Jeremy Ratliff.
I'm Brittany Gatto. Now the WHIO Impact Story, which means we go in-depth on a major story every hour. Today, a day to learn about a disease that impacts more than 300 million people across the world.
Yeah, Fox's Lisa Brady brings us the reports.
July 28th is World Hepatitis Day, a day to raise awareness about viral hepatitis. The World Health Organization's theme for this year is Hepatitis, Let's Break It Down. It's to dismantle financial, systemic, and social barriers that stand in the way of getting rid of the disease and liver cancer prevention. They picked the theme to emphasize the need to simplify, scale up, and integrate services into national health systems. Things like vaccination, safe injection practices, harm reduction, and testing and treatment. You can get more information on the disease by going to who.int.
And for more news that impacts you and your family, you can stay tuned right here to 1290 and 95.7 WHIO. WHIO News Time, 7:27.
I'm Larry Hansgen, and this is Miami Valley's morning news. And even though it's just Monday, let's go ahead and take a look towards this upcoming weekend. Find out what's happening, sponsored by Russell Total Wealth and Wellness.
The WHIO Weekend Preview with what's happening around the Miami Valley. Here's Chris Hartley.
Preble County Fair is happening all this week over at the Preble County Fairgrounds. Rides, games, demolition derby, food, and more. The fair is going to run through Saturday. The Dayton Horse Show, that's happening this weekend over in Springfield. This will be over at the Champion Center. That show is going to run through August 2nd. Garden Bros Circus, that's going to be at the Fairfield Commons Mall this weekend. It's the world's largest circus under the world's largest big top tent. Over 60 performers and 5 rings, special effects and concert lighting. training, kids zone, and more. Circus is going to run through Sunday. And the Rockin' Green Tomato Festival, that's going on over at Riverfront Park. That's out in Miami's Bird. Free kids zone, live music, alcohol, and fireworks. Friday 5 to 10 and Saturday noon to 10. Getting you out into the Miami Valley, I'm Chris Hartley, 1290 and 95.7 WHIO, Dayton's News and Talk.
What is the WHIO Storm Center? It means when you hear these tones, you are just a few minutes away from emergency weather information. Weather is our number one priority. The Storm Center 7 forecast is always on the radio. 1290 and 95.7 WHIO. And when News Center 7 is in wall-to-wall weather coverage mode, you'll always hear it simulcast on WHIO radio. That means you can take your radio to your safe spot and hear exactly what's happening with severe weather. When it comes to weather, we don't mess around.
For This Week in History, I'm Ron Otto. July 27th, 1909. Orville Wright successfully tests the world's first military plane, making a record flight of 1 hour and 12 minutes. July 27th, 1953. The fighting ends in the Korean War as North Korea and the UN sign an armistice dividing the peninsula at the 38th parallel.
For some 2 years, truce negotiations dragged on at Panmunjom. Now, with many representatives of both sides present, a truce has been signed. We can at least rejoice that for all the men who are bearing the burden of this war, a halt has been called.
July 28th, 1900. The hamburger is created by Louis Lassing in Connecticut. July 30th, 2007. Pop star Britney Spears divorces 76. Wild Bill Hickok is shot dead while playing cards in a saloon in Deadwood, Dakota Territory. For This Week in History, I'm Ron Otto.
At Walden University, we get the W. We come here for more than just a degree. We come here to make an impact. We step up when everything is on the line, and we create opportunities. At Walden University, we learn the skills to get us to the next level. Plus, with flexible online learning, we can do it on our time. Now it's your time. Get the W. Walden University, set a course for change. Visit waldenu.edu to learn more. Certified to operate by SHEV.
This is the station Dayton turns to first for live team coverage of breaking news. WHIO Dayton Springfield, celebrating 90 years of being Dayton's news and talk station. Depend on it.
Good morning, it's 7:30. I'm Larry Hansgen, and welcome to Miami Valley's Morning News. We are live on Monday, July 28th. We've got 72 degrees in Dayton. Here are the big three things you need to know. Melbrook holding a public hearing tonight about banning recreational marijuana sales. President Trump announces a new trade deal with the European Union. And our top local story, after a wet weekend in the Miami Valley, we could see more showers and storms today.
We picked up over 5 inches of rain in some locations over the weekend. Not a good situation. Localized flash flooding occurred. We could be dealing with the same thing again this afternoon and evening. Additional rainfall over the next 3 to 4 days. An additional 2 inches, and that's widespread.
Storm Center 7 meteorologist Britley Ritz says it won't just be the rain that's a concern. Much of the Miami Valley has a heat advisory kicking in this morning.
A lot of it's I-70 and south and then back over into Indiana, but treat it as though we are under that heat advisory for the entire Miami Valley. We have actual temperatures that are going to be in the 90s and feels like temperatures that are going to be in the triple digits.
So there is some good news, though. A cold front will soon be rolling through, bringing with it some cooler temperatures.
Stick around. Britley will be back with her full 5-day weather forecast as we kick off this new work week in the Miami Valley here on Dayton's Severe Weather Station, 1290 and 95.7 WHIO.
Once again, holding the chance for storms, and it's hot. I'm Storm Center 7 meteorologist Britley Ritz. Some much needed relief in sight. We'll take a look at when that arrives here in your extended forecast.
Reports of a crash on I-75 South in Miami County a few minutes ago. Sounds like this may be near the rest area, south of Route 36. With traffic every 10 minutes, I'm Jake Magnato, WHIO Triple Team Traffic.
And I'm Larry Hansgen. This is Miami Valley's Morning News.
I'm Brittany Otto.
And I'm Jeremy Ratliff.
Well, Ohio Task Force 1 has been demobilized and is returning home today from their deployment to Texas.
7 members of Ohio Task Force 1 and 6 human remains detection canines were deployed to assist with recovery efforts efforts in the aftermath of the deadly flooding in Kerrville, Texas, earlier this month. The first wave of the deployment began July 11th with 2 canine search specialists and the HRD canines, along with search team manager David Kelly. 4 additional HRD canines and specialists were deployed July 18th as part of FEMA's coordinated urban search and rescue response.
That's WHIO's Rich Jones. All deployed personnel and canines have been demobilized.
Now, we are following some breaking news this hour. Minutes ago, Thailand and Cambodia have agreed to an immediate and unconditional ceasefire in a significant breakthrough to resolve deadly border clashes that have entered a 5th day there. That, according to the Malaysian Prime Minister this morning, he chaired the talks as head of the Association of Southeast Asian Nationals Regional Bloc, said that both sides have reached a common understanding to take steps to return to normalcy following what he called frank discussions.
Fingers pointing to FEMA for the alert sent to thousands in the Miami Valley by mistake on Saturday.
Warren County EMA told us FEMA runs the alert system and that there was some sort of mistake on their end.
That's News Center 7's Taylor Robertson. The alert told people to shelter in place. Less than an hour later, the alert was called a mistake, saying it was meant for a standoff in Deerfield Township.
Now, Preble County trustee facing voyeurism and grooming charges due in court this morning.
A preliminary hearing is set for 36-year-old Joseph Guthrie, who is accused of recording a teenager in the bathroom of a home. The Gasper Township Board of Trustees has not commented on his case. Guthrie posted bond earlier this month.
That is WHIO's Ron Otto reporting. Guthrie's term as a trustee runs until December 31st, 2027.
Now to Kettering, a car crashed into a home Saturday afternoon.
This happened around 2:30 on Norton Avenue. Photos from the scene show a red car in the side of the home. The homeowner told WHIO that they cannot stay in the home due to the damage. Cops believe the driver was under the influence, but still need to confirm with testing.
WHIO's Parker Testa, a sergeant, told us that Dayton police are handling the investigation since the crash happened on city borders.
And something you need to know this morning, 3 major events that will affect the U.S. economy take place this week.
The International Monetary Fund will release its World Economic Outlook update. Then on Wednesday, the Federal Reserve is set to end its 5th interest rate meeting since President Trump came back to office. And then Friday is the deadline for dozens of countries to strike trade deals with the U.S.
That is Fox's Ashley Strohmeyer reporting. WHIO News Time, 7:35.
I'm Larry Hansgen. This is Miami Valley's Morning News. And coming up, Saturday, August 2nd, April Wine at Rose Music Center. I've got a pair of tickets for the show. Be caller number 3, 937-457-1290. 937-457-1290. Caller number 3, get a pair of tickets to see April Wine at Rose Music Center this coming Saturday, August 2nd. Good luck. Still to come on Miami Valley's Morning News, a shocking scene, a pilot arrested at the San Francisco airport. We've got that story in 2 minutes. WHIO News Time, 7:36.
Nothing is more frustrating than sitting on 75 in traffic and not knowing what's going on. Your phone, not so helpful. That's why we're the home of Triple Team Traffic. Every 10 minutes, WHIO is Dayton's News and Talk. Depend on it.
Gain Super Flings are here to take your laundry to the next level.
Talking about Gain Super Flings. Super-sized laundry packs. These things are huge. Super fresh, super clean. Gain Super Flings.
Gain Super Flings laundry packs have 4 times the Oxy cleaning power and 3 times the Febreze freshness versus Gain Original Liquid.
Super fresh, super clean. Gain Super Flings.
Gain Super Flings for next level laundry.
Want the same expert advice you get from the pros in the store while shopping online at DiscountTire.com? Meet Treadwell, your personal online tire guide that matches you with the perfect tire for your vehicle. Get your best match in 1 minute or less with Treadwell by Discount Tire. Let's get you taken care of.
Just one bite of the deliciously comforting flavor of easy cooking Eckrich smoked sausage is enough to take you all the way home. Its naturally hardwood smoked taste sends you away to those summer days with Dad at the grill. Take a bite and see for yourself. Eckrich.
Life is a workout, and Smoothie King is here to help you power through. Whether you're crushing morning miles or sprinting through back-to-back meetings, give your body the energy, protein, and power it needs to help you conquer your goals. Only at Smoothie King.
Configuring the Bluetooth, deciding who controls the music, avoiding potholes, remembering where you parked. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners Insurance, getting the right coverage for your vehicle doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can get back to more important things, like remembering if you're on the 3rd or 4th level of the parking garage. That's simple human sense. Ask your independent agent if Auto Owners makes sense for you.
You are a very important person. You show up, put in the work, and bring your best to each and every day. It isn't always glamorous or easy, but it's worth it. Because you're building a life for yourself and those you love. That means a lot, and so do you. When you open an account at Park National Bank, you get more than you might expect. Your own personal banker and the VIP treatment you deserve. Park National Bank, where you mean more. Member FDIC.
Together with the resources of News Center 7, you're on Dayton's #1 news team. Now, back to Miami Valley's morning news on WHIO.
Good morning. I'm Larry Hansgen, and looking at the live Doppler 7 radar and seeing some showers move in from Indiana into northwestern Preble County. A little bit of thunderstorm activity there. At 72 degrees now. It's 7:38.
22 minutes before 8 o'clock.
I'm Jeremy Ratliff.
I'm Brittany Otto. Well, the funeral for an Ohio police officer killed in the line of duty has been scheduled.
Lorain police officer Philip Wagner died Thursday from his injuries sustained in a shooting on July 23rd. Officer Wagner's funeral will be on Wednesday at Rocket Arena in Cleveland, according to his online obituary.
That's WHIO's Will Taylor.
Now, we've learned that a Delta Airlines co-pilot was dramatically arrested at San Francisco International Airport Saturday night on federal child sexual abuse charges.
Once the pilot parked at the terminal gate, passengers began to exit normally until chaos ensued as Homeland Security agents stormed the cockpit. Passengers described armed officers pushing through the aisle before escorting the co-pilot off the plane. Video of the incident made the rounds on social media Sunday. Delta has referred all questions to law enforcement, which is yet to comment.
That is Fox's Ted Linder reporting.
The president of France announced the country will recognize Palestine as a state, becoming the first G7 nation to do so. The Israeli ambassador to the UN joined Fox News Live, condemning the decision.
Apparently, President Macron has domestic issues, and instead of dealing with his own problem with radicals in France, he's putting those statements. We know it will not go anywhere. It has no meaning.
The recognition of Palestine comes as a growing chorus of European leaders speak out against Israeli actions in Gaza.
Back here in the United States, the Justice Department now suing the city of New York, alleging its sanctuary city policies violate federal officials' ability to enforce the law. Acting ICE Director Todd Lyons telling Fox News Live the agency will continue to target sanctuary jurisdictions.
The president has promised that he will make Americans safe again. Secretary Noem has ensured that we have all the resources to go ahead and make sure we can get all these criminal aliens that are released. So the borders are as right. We are going to flood the zone. We are going to go into these sanctuary cities.
New York City Mayor Eric Adams responding to the lawsuit by calling for changes to the city's sanctuary city law, although he maintained that the law is crucial for protecting undocumented immigrants.
This is WHIO Continuing News.
And racing news for the second straight week, weather impact of the NASCAR Cup Series.
Bubba Wallace was on track to win his way off the playoff bubble when rain stopped the Brickyard 400 with 4 laps to go. He didn't let the bad weather ruin his day.
The Brickyard belongs to Bubba. Wallace wins at Indy.
Courtesy TNT, Wallace survived overtime to edge Kyle Larson for his first win of the season.
That's Fox's Tim McMaster. WHIO News Time 741.
And this is Miami Valley's Morning News. I'm Larry Hansgen. Let's look at that 5-day forecast. Help you make your plans. Your Storm Center 7 meteorologist, Brittany Ritz.
Waking up in the 70s this morning, hitting 91 this afternoon, feeling more like 100 with a few showers and storms once again. A few may be strong. Rinse and repeat that into Tuesday and Wednesday, really. 93 Tuesday and 90 on Wednesday, feeling more like 100 and still holding on to the chance for a few showers and thunderstorms. Next cold front comes in Wednesday into Thursday, and that rain chance lingers on into Thursday, but we drop to 81 degrees. Get this, by Friday, 79.
Our live Doppler 7 radar is showing a little bit of rain from Indiana now rolling into Preble County, northeastern Preble County, seeing some pretty significant showers. Not widespread, not a big cell, but if you're sitting under it right now, you're feeling it. Got 71 in Springfield, 72 in Piqua, 72 at Dayton Severe Weather Station.
This traffic report is sponsored by Grismer Tire and Auto Service. Is your car's AC acting up? Keep cool this summer by visiting your trusted automotive air conditioning repair experts. Breathe a little easier by making an appointment today at GrismerTire.com.
A live update with Jake Magnotta.
Larry, I mentioned minutes ago I was hearing about a crash on 75 South in Miami County. This was being reported south of Route 36 near the rest area, so outside of Piqua. It doesn't sound like anything's here. I'm still noticing on the cameras traffic's moving just fine, so nothing to worry about if you're heading this way. With traffic every 10 minutes, I'm Jake Magnotta, WHIO Triple Team Traffic.
More than 1 million lights will be on display at Day Air Ballpark as the club launches Deck the Diamond events this winter, 6 to 9 p.m. nightly, November 14th through January 3rd, 2026. You can get more information at dragons.com/deckthediamond. And still to come on Miami Valley's Morning News, a big windfall for Kings Island season ticket holders. That story in 2 minutes. WHIO News Time, 7:43.
At WHIO, we have a really unique and special morning news show. It's called Miami Valley's Morning News. You always get the latest forecast and traffic updates every 10 minutes. Plus, the news from overnight you might not have heard about. We think it should be your first place to check in each day to hear about the stories that everyone's talking about. Would you give us a try tomorrow? 1290 and 95.7 WHIO. Dayton's News and Talk. Depend on it.
Hey, I'm Ron Otto with My Sports Rundown, my opinion on the big stories in sports.